Good afternoon, boys and girls. I'm Tonya Arnesen, Senior Pastor of Jackson First United Methodist Church, and this is Children's Story Time for Monday, August the 10th. During our time of sheltering at home, we've been reading through the Jesus Storybook Bible together, and we will continue on Mondays and Thursdays until we've come to the very end of the Bible. Today's story is called A Little Girl and a Poor Frail Lady. I'm going to show you the picture first so you can imagine what's happening in the scene. You see, here's a little girl who's very sick, and this is her father, Jairus. There once was a little girl who didn't get out of bed one morning, or the next, or the next. In fact, she didn't get out of bed for a whole month. She was very sick, and no one knew how to make her better. Jairus was her daddy, and he loved her. One day he was sitting by her bed, holding her hand, wishing there was something he could. I know. He jumped to his feet, put on his coat, kissed his daughter, ran down the steps, past the servants, and out of the house, through the gates, along the road, into the town, up the steps, and into the temple. He fought his way through all the people until, at last, he found what he was looking for. What do you think that was? Let's see. Jesus, said Jairus. Jesus, falling at his feet. My daughter, he pleaded, please. But he didn't need to beg because Jesus reached out his hand and helped him up. I'll come at once, he said. Jairus' eyes filled with tears. Jesus was coming. It would be all right. In those days, of course, they didn't have ambulances, so they had to go by foot. Jesus' helpers knew that he would heal the sick girl, but they must hurry. If Jesus didn't get there soon, it would be too late. There you go. Oh, and now Jesus finds himself in a crowd again. Everyone was in the way, hustling and bustling and jostling and pressing and pushing and shoving and squishing and squashing. The disciples ran ahead, forcing the crowd to back off. Suddenly, Jesus stopped. His friends looked back. What was he doing? Who touched me? Jesus asked, because he felt power go out of him. Me, said a frail lady. Here's the frail lady right there. She looked down at the ground because she was ashamed. The poor lady had been sick for 12 years and she had to get well. She knew if she only touched Jesus' coat, she would be healed. So she touched his coat, and instantly she was made well. We don't have time, Jesus' friends said, but Jesus always had time. He reached out his hands and gently lifted the frail lady's head. He looked into her eyes and smiled. You believed, he said, wiping a tear from her eye, and now you are well. Just then, Jairus' servant rushed up to Jairus. It's too late, he said. Your daughter is dead. Jesus turned to Jairus. It's not too late, Jesus said. Trust me. At Jairus' house, everyone was crying. But Jesus says, I'm going upstairs to wake her up. Everyone laughed at him because they knew she was dead. Jesus walked into the little girl's bedroom, and there, lying in the corner in the shadows, was the still little figure. Jesus sat on her bed and took her pale hand. Honey, he said, it's time to get up. And he reached down into death and gently brought the little girl back to life. The little girl woke up, rubbed her eyes as if she'd just had a good night's sleep, and leapt out of the bed. Jesus threw open the shutters, and sunlight flooded the dark room. "Hungry?" Jesus asked. She nodded. Jesus called to her family, "Bring this little girl some breakfast." Jesus helped and healed many people. Like this. He made blind people see. He made deaf people hear. He made lame people walk. He was making the sad things come untrue. He was mending God's broken world. What a wonderful story. Jesus has so much power, and he still does today. And so when we pray to him and ask for his help, he comes to help us. Know that he is your best friend and that he loves you very much, boys and girls. And so do I. Be safe and be well and be blessed this week. Bye-bye.